We use apps to track sleep, steps, heartbeats, but some things weren't meant to be recorded. Welcome back to Vault 313. My sleep app recorded more than snoring. Sleep had always been something I took for granted, closing my eyes, letting the world fade, and trusting that the hours would pass undisturbed. It's only after the third week, when a simple app turned that trust into suspicion, that I realized how fragile peace can be. They say that knowledge is a comfort, but what if knowing too much is what keeps you awake? It began innocently. I had downloaded a sleep tracker for the same reason most people do, to measure rest, to see if I snored, to laugh at the odd midnight tossed turn. It was easy to set up. A few taps on my phone, the device at my bedside, promising to make the unseen world of sleep visible. Every morning, I'd check my stats, graphs of breathing, movement, occasional blips in noise, reassuring, objective. But around the third week, a pattern revealed itself, one I never would have noticed if I hadn't begun to scan more closely for abnormal results. Buried among the data was a repeating entry. 3:23 a.m. every night, the app logged a sound clip. Always the same time. Always a clip almost exactly 20 seconds long. I squinted at the blue waveform on the screen, wondering at first if this was some glitch, some routine mechanical sound. In my mind, it made sense. The house settling, the hum of distant traffic, my own shifting breath. I lived alone, after all. No one but myself, my thoughts, and the silent witness of circuitry. Still, curiosity can be a sly enemy. One morning, half awake and half tired, I pressed play on the first of those nightly clips. At first, it was only static, and the murmur of nothingness. White noise and the soft rustle of bedsheets. The kind of filler sounds that make you want to close your eyes again, content. Then, beneath the surface, weaving through the hush, came breathing. Deep, heavy, uneven. Not mine. It was unmistakable. The frequency and depth overlapped with none of the gentle cadence I was accustomed to from all those earlier nights. The sound filled my headphones, slow and deliberate. That's when the voice came. A whisper, raw and secretive, as if afraid of waking someone. It said, "He's still asleep." The chill that crawled up my spine didn't fade when the recording ended. I lay awake, running through rational explanations. The mind is powerful, I told myself. It seeks patterns, sometimes where there are none. I dismissed the recording as interference, a captured echo from another room, then remembered, there are no other rooms. I live alone. I tried to ignore it. But every day, I found another entry at that exact moment, and each night, a new recording. Different whispers, layered with furtive breath. "Don't wake him yet. He moved. Try again tomorrow." I waited for relief, for the pattern to break, for the app to fail, but it did neither. Instead, the dread grew with each reluctant playback. Nights became longer. I took to leaving the lights on, hoping that illumination would discourage whatever was happening in the darkness. That brightness might somehow render me invisible to whatever was listening or watching or waiting. Sleep escaped me, and when it came, it was shallow and filled with shadows. Then the final recording. I awoke not to the gentle chime of my alarm, but to the app open, active, as if it had been watching me in my dreams. There was one new clip, only 7 seconds. My heart thudded as I pressed play. Again the breathing, labored, patient, as if whoever made the sound was growing tired of waiting. Then, the whisper. "He's listening now." The voice was closer than before, urgent, pressed up against the edge of the microphone. And then, unmistakably, my own voice replied, flat, hollow, nothing like I remembered hearing or saying. "I know." That's what it said. It was me, but not me. I never said those words. My hands shook. I deleted the app in one frantic motion, holding the power button down until my phone blinked into blackness. But as I lay in bed that night, phone powered off and lights turned up, something became terribly clear. The whispers hadn't needed the app to reach me. That device had only been a window, not the door. The sounds no longer waited to be recorded. At exactly 3:23, every night without fail, I began to sense the shifting weight of presence in the room. The air thickened, an electric pulse hummed against my skin, and I just knew, someone was standing by my bed listening. I try not to look. Somehow I feel if I do, if I turn my gaze even an inch, I will see what stands there. Most nights my body locks in place, as if playing dead will trick these visitors, these watchers, into leaving me alone. But I hear them. They breathe, so softly, and sometimes they whisper. Fragments, syllables distorted, as if coming from behind a closed door. Sometimes the voice is almost kind. Other times it is angry, urgent, impatient. I've tried to reason with myself, to repeat the truths of the waking world. Houses make noise, sleep pulls tricks. If someone were really there, wouldn't I see them, catch them in daylight, leave some proof behind? But every night, the hour comes and the certainty grows. Nothing has ever felt so real as the sound of that presence, so insistent, so near. Now my nights pass in uneasy waiting. I doze, but rarely fall fully asleep. When I do, I am greeted by dreams of being watched, of voices just out of reach, of my own reflection speaking in a voice that is and isn't mine. The boundary between waking and sleeping blurs. I startle at every creak, every shift of air. I check the time sometimes, hoping, just hoping, that tonight will be different, that the hour will come and go in silence, that I will wake up rested, and that the world will make sense again. But always, inevitably, the clock slips toward 3:23, and I steel myself for the moment when I will hear what has become all too familiar. The breathing, the shifting of weight, and the near silent whisper. And I wonder each time if tonight they will do more than watch, more than whisper, more than wait. Or if tonight I will find my own voice answering, I know, and finally understand who or what is listening with me in the dark. Another file has been unlocked. Subscribe to Vault 313. We're always recording, even when you shouldn't.